Hey guys, welcome to another episode of FatherStack's Rambling Reviews, and I'm FatherStack. Really enjoyed making the last episode on the initiation, and I had to make another one as soon as I could. And this is on Stewart Gordon's Castle Freak. I actually wrote this one first. Watching this is what made me want to start reviewing films again. I'll go into the reasons for it later on. But I decided to review The Initiation first because as I was watching that, I thought, that's another one I can review. Because obviously I wasn't very fond on The Initiation, but I had to do that one first because it was going to be weight for my mind if I'd done Castle Freak first. Because it was, in my opinion, I think The Initiation was quite forgettable. Even with my notes, I struggled remembering parts of it, so I wanted to do that one first while it was fresh in my mind. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a brief synopsis of Castle Freak, then I'll talk about my opinion on it and give little notes and that about little trivia facts on it and all the rest. Pretty much what I've done with the last video, so I'll get on with it. So, it's directed by Stewart Gordon. And I got into it by, I think I was watching an episode of Masters of Horror, which was a TV anthology series in about 2006, 2007. It lasted about 2 series, and every episode was standalone, hence it being an anthology, and it was directed by a famous horror director. And Stewart Gordon done a couple of these, and one of the ones he done was Witches in the Dream House, I think it was called. And do you know what? A lot of the episodes were hit and miss, but that was one of the really, really good ones I really enjoyed. And I've always liked Stewart Gordon from like Reanimator and From Beyond. And I've even got a wee fondness for Dolls. Dolls is pretty good. The thing about Dolls is, it was made in 1987. I always think it's 1979. I don't know why. I always think it's a 70s film, even though it's clearly not. But I don't know. I always get that mixed up. Anyway, I'll get on to the film. I've gone. So as I was looking up Stewart Gordon on IMDb, I was looking through all his films, and one of the ones I came to was Castle Freak. I was like, oh, that's an odd title, Castle Freak. So I clicked on it and I was like, oh, I wonder if they've got that. So I went online and found Castle Freak. I don't know if you see that there. On Blu-ray, right? Which is quite surprising to me, right? But I'll get into all that after I've went through it. So it starts off with this old woman, and she's in a castle, hence the title, and she's cutting up a sausage. And I'll get into that a little bit towards the end. And she goes downstairs to like the cellar area, or kind of a basement of the castle. She opens like a door, like an old jail cell, and there's a guy like cowering in the corner, and she grabs up this big barbed whip and starts beating the shit out of him with this barbed whip, and he's cowering in fear, and the noises he makes is genuine fear, and I felt, oh my god, I can't, I'm not going to make the noise, but you feel his pain as she's beating the shit out of him. So as he's cowering there, she's battering him, she walks back upstairs and she dies. I don't know, it's like a heart attack, and anyway, she just dies. Anyway, after that, a family of 3 are in a car, and they're being driven to a castle that they've just inherited. The castle of the old woman, and they've just inherited it. And the family is Jeffrey Combs, who plays John. I love Jeffrey Combs. I think he's an amazing character actor. You all know him from like Reanimator and The Frighteners. He plays like an agent in The Frighteners. He's really good in that. He's recently been in Would You Rather. He's in loads of things. You've definitely seen him. I think he's probably up there with like Bruce Campbell for being like, one of these character actors that's not super famous, but he's got a cult following. He's probably not quite as famous as Bruce Campbell, but in my opinion, he's just as good. I think he's excellent. Also in it, as playing his wife, is what's her name? Barbara Crampton. I can't say things today. Crampton. And she was also in Reanimator, and she's in From Beyond, and she was in quite a lot of Stewart Gordon films, often with Jeffrey Combs. And yeah, she's pretty good at it. And the daughter is played by Jessica Dollarhide, who I think was a newcomer, probably her only film, and she's the blind daughter in this. So they're heading up to this castle that they've just inherited, and they're going to stay in it for a few days until they can liquidate the estate. So while they're there, they notice some kind of weird noises and, you know, weird goings on. They meet the old housekeeper who they explain the castle and that. So as they're sleeping, the freak that was being beaten at the start of the film, he's manacled together, and he breaks out of his manacles by actually breaking his thumbs. And this scene actually made me wince. The way he breaks his thumbs, the sound effects they use, I was like, oh my god. Oh, it is. You just know when you hear that sound of something. I get the same feeling in Unbreakable when Samuel L. Jackson falls down the stairs and you hear the sound of his bones breaking. It's kind of like that. It just makes you go, oh my god. And anyway, he breaks out of the manacles and he kills and skins a cat alive. So a while into the film, you find that Jeffrey Combs and his wife, they don't have the best relationship. She's pissed off. Well, she's more than pissed off because he's a recovering alcoholic, and he got in a car accident while drunk with his kids in the car, which blinded the daughter and killed their son. So understandably, I don't know why the wife didn't divorce him, to be honest. She's not on the best of terms with him. So he's trying to make up with her. Why haven't you forgiven me? And all the rest. So as it goes into the film, he ends up... he tells the housekeeper, he's having a chat with the housekeeper. He actually says, look, she offers him like a glass of wine. He goes, no, I don't drink anymore. But things get to him with... when the daughter starts saying she hears noises in the house and that, he gets a little bit upset, and then he ends up getting drunk at a bar. And his drunk acting is actually really good. Most of the time when you see people drunk in a film, it's like, yeah, drunk people aren't like that, but he's actually a really good drunk. He picks up a prostitute. He takes her back to the castle. Remember, his wife's living here at the castle, and he ends up fucking her. He ends up getting off with this prostitute. And by this time, the castle freak is off the film, is kind of moving about. What I didn't mention was this is based on a short story called The Outsider by Stewart Gordon's favourite H.P. Lovecraft called The Outsider. But apparently the only part that is actually like that is a part where the freak looks into a mirror, sees his reflection and is horrified by what he sees and smashes the mirror. Apparently that's the only part that the film references. But as he shags the prostitute, I think he just wanders away, and then you just hear the freak coming, and he ends up. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers from this point on. He kills the prostitute, and he in a really graphic scene, he eats her out. But he literally eats her out. I mean, he actually chomps down on that. But I'll go further into that as I'm explaining my thoughts on that on the film. He also ended up killing the housekeeper as well. So as it goes on, the police automatically make John, the Jeffrey Combs character, prime suspect. They say, look, they're sure he done it. The whole time they're persuading him. They won't leave him alone, and he's getting kind of annoyed. He's getting really, really annoyed. As the freaks going about the castle, like, he ends up kidnapping the daughter, the blind daughter. This is why although the cops are meant to be looking after them and stuff, but the freak ends up killing the cops. They're the kind of security guard guys. They end up killing the cops to try and get to the daughter while the wife moves away. So he ends up manacling her together, and he tries to kind of molest her. It's like he's got a way that he's clearly sexually repressed. So he's kind of, I think he's trying to kiss her. So he's trying to kiss her neck and that, but he's like clearly nibbling away at her. So the wife ends up stabbing him in the back, literally with a knife, stabs him in the back, and she ends up running away with the daughter. So Jeffrey Combs ends up kind of convincing the freak, who's completely mute by the way. The freak's mute, he can't speak or anything. Tries to entice him onto the rooftop. So he's trying to save his family and trying to, get rid of the castle freak at the same time. So there's a scene that's coming up that because this is coming up to the ending. There's a scene when Jeffrey Combs he's in a really depressed state. He's trying not to drink and that, and he goes up to the castle roof during daylight, and he kind of contemplates jumping off it, and then for whatever reason decides not to. So this alludes to the scene that's coming up, where he kind of tries to entice the castle freak to follow him onto the roof, and it's he kind of has it out with it. He has a wee fight with it, and then he ends up, the only way he can kind of think of killing this creature is by he chains himself to the creature and ends up committing suicide by jumping off the roof along with the creature, and then they both die. So they have his funeral, and it's kind of weird because as they're looking on in the funeral, the cops look guilty, and it's kind of weird because all the way through it they've got the suspicious look on their faces all the time because they know it's him. Yet at the end they kind of feel guilty because they kind of know it wasn't him that was committing all these murders. So that's kind of the brief synopsis of Castle Freak. Now, when I went to watch this and I bought this on Blu-ray, this was in the 1995 when this was released. It was straight to video. It's from Charles Band's production company, Full Moon Productions. Full Moon Features. Full Moon Productions does black metal bands, doesn't it? Full Moon Features. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Full Moon Features is direct to video only, because they're always shot on the cheap. They're always pretty low budget, and I think because they made that many films, I think they just were all direct to video, like your Puppet Master and Demon Toys, and you know the films. I'm trying to think of other filming films. Anyway, yeah, there's hundreds of them, and the film apparently started out by Stewart Gordon sitting in Charles Band's office, and he saw a poster, and it was of a woman that's tied up and a guy whipping her as she's tied up on the wall. And Stewart Gordon apparently said to Charles Band, he says, "What's that poster?" He goes, "Well, that's a castle, and that's a freak." He goes, "Okay." He says, "If you want to write a script about it, go for it." He says, "But you have to have those two elements, the castle and the freak." So that's how it clearly got its name. Now, when I saw the name Castle Freak, I thought, oh my god, what we're in for? Because obviously straight to video, it's got connotations for being, they've got connotations for being shitty films, As soon as you hear straight to video, you think, oh god, what am I in for? But I would really, really like this. This is, out of the two films I've watched so far, this is by far the best one. As soon as I watched this, I was like, holy shit, I have to talk about this. It's really, really good. Like I said, at the start, the cops start kind of inquisitive, and then they become really, really aggressive later on as they're trying to, get him for information. They try to get him to admit that he'd done everything, and then as soon as he dies, as soon as Jeffrey Combs dies in it, it's like they start looking all guilty. It's like I quite like that. It starts off like a creepy mystery, and then as it gets into it, like the last maybe third of it, it becomes like a slasher film as soon as like the freak makes his way out of it. For a straight to video film, the quality is really good. I honestly, thinking about it, I don't think I would have, if being told, I don't think I would have known it was straight to video. And also for being a full moon features film, I was surprisingly good. You know, I've seen a few of them. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like, and this is probably the best one I've seen. It's actually for a straight. Also for a. I'm going to be saying this a lot. Straight to video. But you know, call spade a spade. It's really gory. It's really, really violent. And when a name like Castle Freak, you would think it would have that kind of campiness to it. No, this is almost deadly serious, which is unusual for a Stewart Gordon film as well. If you've ever seen From Beyond and Dolls, and especially Reanimator, you know they've got a sense of fun to them. They've got that kind of cheeky humour to it. Nah, not this. This is serious, and it's really, really violent. Especially when the freak goes to rape the prostitute, and it actually eats it eats her vagina out. You know, it's like you see all the blood. Oh, and it eats her boob off. Yeah, there's tits in it and they get eaten. So I don't know how this went with the BBFC. I'm guessing this would have been cut because it's got sex and it's got violence, and they especially didn't like violence on boobs. You know, breasts and blood was a no-no. So I'm guessing this would have been cut pretty heavily. But I should have looked into that, but I didn't, unfortunately. Yeah. The freak himself is played by an actor called Jonathan Fuller, or Fuller, I don't know how you say it. I'll say Fuller. And he's a skinny guy. I watched kind of the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, and he's a skinny guy, and he actually starved himself for this role. He was really committed. He starved himself, so all the ribs and that you see on him, that's for real. And then the makeup on him took apparently over 6 hours every time they applied it to him, and the makeup on him is brilliant. I absolutely love the makeup on him. He's got I mentioned previously Masters of Horror. There's an episode called Jennifer, which is directed by Dario Argento, and Jennifer in that has this kind of those teeth that kind of pushes her lip right up. If you know what I mean, he's got that kind of thing. It's like, I don't know if it's like he's been biting through his lip or not, but yeah, that was, the makeup's excellent on him. Yeah, I found a lot of people I watched. I would imagine a lot of people would find it kind of a slow film, but a lot of the scenes are then just wandering through the castle. But I liked all that. It's like, because they're getting to know their home, and it just, I don't know, I just loved the mood of it, of them just kind of exploring their castle and exploring their new home. And I can imagine that would be a little bit boring for people, but I liked that. I think it set a real good kind of tone and a good mood for the film. Yeah, and a lot of the deaths in this film don't really happen till about an hour in. And it's about how long is this film? 95 minutes. So yeah, it's a 95-minute film. So you get 35 minutes of gruesome murders, and yeah, that are pretty gruesome. It doesn't. It's like Stewart Gordon isn't known for being a necessarily violent film director. He doesn't use a lot of violence in his films. They are gory. They're usually pretty gory, but the violence is pretty strong in this one. Not that that's a problem with me. I love my violent, gory films. So this is, you know, you can tell by the way I'm talking about this film that I didn't dislike this in the slightest. Yeah, the old women. I forgot to mention that when the castle freak is raping the prostitute, that he doesn't have a dick. So I found that when the old woman at the start was cutting the sausage, that's clearly symbolic of him not having a penis. She perhaps cut that off. She perhaps was cutting it off in that scene. I don't know if that's what she was chopping up. I'm like, oh, she's chopping up a sausage. No, she's not. She's chopping up his cock. So maybe that's my dirty mind. I don't know, but I found that quite amusing. I don't know if it was humorous, but I just like, she's cutting up a sausage at the start. Freak has no penis. Is that a coincidence? Nah, probably not. What else have we got here? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed this, way more than I ever thought I would. For a film called Castle Freak, I thought, this is going to be a piece of shit, isn't it? But no, I was really impressed, especially for a straight-to-video film. And yeah, got released some Blu-ray over here, which is what seems to be happening a lot with 88 films. 88 films, Arrow Video, 101 films, they seem to be really good at taking like unknown films and maybe straight to video films, and you know, films that a lot of people don't remember but maybe some people remember growing up. Now this was 1995, so I was only 8 when this came out, so I obviously can't remember this, but I'm glad that films like this are actually getting moved to Blu-ray, so like people like me can see this, because if it wasn't for companies like 88 Films, I would never have been able to see this. So thank you, 88 Films. And this is not a this is in no way a promotion for 88 Films, but you know, yeah, I wouldn't be able to see it without them. So what else do I have to say? Yeah, I would recommend this to anybody that's wanting to see a good kind of mystery story slasher film. There are times in the film where the acting is a little bit off. Never by Jeffrey Combs or Barbara Crampton, but some of the, because I should have mentioned it's set in Italy. That's what I needed to say. This is set in Italy and filmed in Italy, and apparently the castle that it's set in, the reason this was made on, I wouldn't say shoestring budget, but you know, it was made on a pretty low budget, and the reason they managed to get the castle is apparently, I keep on saying apparently, is apparently Charles Band actually owned that castle. So, you know, it's like owning a big mansion and saying, "Here guys, film in my mansion, I own it." So yeah, he's always just said, "Look, I own this castle, feel free to film in it." And you know, they did, and they made great use of it. Yeah, some of the Italian actors aren't the best, didn't bother me, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I would give this I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I was well impressed with it. I'm a big fan of Stewart Gordon anyway, so, but you know, everybody has their dodgy films. If I had to mention one of his dodgy films, I would say I'd say Dolls. Even though I mentioned liking it earlier, I do like Dolls, but you know, compared to the rest of his films, it's not his best. Even though I will watch it again. Let me know, guys, what you think of this film. Mention in the comments if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Also, if you want me to review a film that you want me to watch, whether it's bad or good, message me in the comments. I read all my comments. I try to reply to them all if they're worth replying to. Unless it's lol, I'll just, you know, laugh my arse off. It's like, okay, I'll ignore that. I don't ignore comments. I don't ban comments or anything like that, obviously. But yeah, really enjoyed it again. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've forgotten. I want to try doing these reviews at least twice a week, and so far I've kept this up. I done one yesterday, doing another one today. So if you want me to review a film that you enjoy or perhaps don't enjoy and just want to hear me rant about it or ramble about it, you know, like, yeah, I'll always love recommendations. I'm up for anything, and I'll always try and find out the you know, search for the films that you want me to do. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. I hope I've been entertaining enough, and I'll see you in the next episode, guys.